You're listening to the Back Porch Talk podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the Back Porch Talk podcast. I'm your coach, Jason.
Your coach, Danny.
Fans, we got a full show for you today. We will have a discussion on the NFL. Tonight is the start of the NBA season and a little bit of talk on MLB. But first, Danny, into the NFL where, I don't know, man, these Packers just not looking good. We take this L against the Broncos. Packers just don't look like a first half team at all. Second half, they finally show up, but can't do that in the NFL, man. Got to score some points in the first half, which we did not. I think we can stop really providing excuses for Jordan Love at this juncture. He's had a full training camp with the team. He has a full array of weapons, and this offense is just not clicking. So I don't know what happens moving forward. Aaron Jones was playing. Still no excuse for us not to get 0 points in the first half. So I don't know what's going on, man. But Packers take this L. To me, the game of the weekend was the Eagles-Dolphins game, a Sunday night game where the Eagles prevailed 31-17. Battle of the Alabama quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts prevails here. And I think we can see them possibly in the Super Bowl. We'll see. It's going to be interesting in the AFC. NFC, I think it's just between the Eagles and the 49ers, where the 49ers actually takes this L against the Vikings 22-17, surprisingly, on a Monday night. 49ers just a little bit banged up there, but nonetheless thought that they would win. So those were the big games for me, Danny. How about you?
My Falcons pulled it out in a rough game to watch. For those of you who did watch the Buccaneers-Falcons game, Ritter threw for over 250 yards, had 3 fumbles. And this game is had some drama, some controversy with Bijan Robinson only having 1 carry in the game. And the Falcons, Arthur Smith, mentioned that he was dealing with a headache where he came down with something on Saturday night. But the problem was it wasn't reported. So no one really knew what was going on until the end of the game, where from a fantasy standpoint, from a betting standpoint, those things matter now, right? Because those are interwoven with everything with sports. So when things like that happen, that causes controversy. So the NFL is investigating the Falcons at this point in time. But good win. The defense played really well. 2 of those fumbles from Ritter, I don't consider his fault. So I'll give him a pass on 2 of the 3. The third one, he didn't cuff the ball strong enough and he got knocked out of his hand and ended up being a touchback instead of a touchdown. So all in all, we won. We beat the Buccaneers and we're in first place. A couple other games of note from my standpoint. The Ravens beat the doors off Detroit 38-6. The Lions look like they I don't know what happened there, man. I don't know if they had a late wake-up call or what, but they just weren't in that game from the jump. Lamar Jackson ended up with 4 touchdowns overall and dominated them. And the Vikings winning last night makes it a little interesting now that they're coming back to 3-4, and the Vikings could be better than what they are. They've blown a few games already this year. So they're slowly moving their way back into this race in your division. But I still think it's open, and Detroit has the Raiders coming up, so they should be able to do that and keep that 2-game lead. But just something to watch with the Vikings, and when Justin Jefferson returns.
And Danny, right on into the start of the NBA season, man. I've
Mm-hmm.
been hyped since the end of last season, Danny, and this is really going to be an interesting night, and where it starts off with the Lakers battling the Nuggets, and where the Nuggets is ring night for them. I have to admit, I am not a fan of these championship rings. Fans, if you want to take a look at it, go out online and just Google search the Denver Nuggets rings. But man, these things don't look good at all. It has world champions at the front. I mean, who doesn't at this juncture? But it seems like it's the logo, it's the plate of the Denver Nuggets at the front, sitting on top of the rings. And instead of them doing that in diamonds, they do it in with their logo, and it's just kind of like it's plated and just plopped onto the rings, and it just doesn't look good, in my opinion. Now, Danny, their names is the Denver Nuggets. I think how I would have designed this thing, it would have been a golden nugget, the championship
Yeah.
ring being the gold, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could have done something, some kind of design or what have you on top, sitting on top there on the front. But not this plated mess that they have on this rings, man. So, but nonetheless, man, they got a ring. They're going to be celebrating tonight. And this game against the Lakers is going to be very interesting. They've been talking trash since the Nuggets have swept the Lakers. And so I'm really intrigued by this game. I'm also hyped to see the TNT crew back together. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, Jason, we've been waiting for this, all the changes that went on from the different teams, and now we get to see it and see them kick off tonight. And with the doubleheader with the Suns and Warriors. So with the Suns making the moves they made, uh, bringing Bradley Beal in, the full slate of action starts tomorrow night. And the Bucks actually open on Thursday night against the 76ers, which is a TNT game as well. So definitely looking forward to that, to see how that looks. And I'm actually curious to see what the Sixers and how they play, with all this drama with Harden.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now there's rumor today about Embiid and the Knicks and a possible trade. And there's just a lot going on with the 76ers right now. And you just curious to see how they respond in this first game against Milwaukee.
Danny, my predictions: Boston, Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm picking Milwaukee to go to the finals, man. But it's going to be a 7-game series. It doesn't matter who has home court advantage at this juncture. I'm just hoping that that Milwaukee improves throughout the season. So we'll see what happens there. The Western Conference, man, I have no idea. That is just going to be a beast. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think, Jason, a lot of it comes down to health, honestly, with these teams, because some of these teams are very front loaded. And if they have any key injuries, that can knock them out. And in the West, there are like 12 teams battling for 10 spots where there can be a shift. You remember last year how things were, it was like third place through like 10th place. It was like a 2.5 game separation, depending on the timing of the season. So a lot of it, obviously, with anything with sports is health related. And so whoever stays healthier and can have that cohesion, because there's a lot of changes that happened on the off season, will definitely be in the driver's seat.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun, especially now with this in-season tournament happening. We'll see how this all really flows and everything. And then also, I think there's rumors to go back to in the All-Star game an East-West conference matchup, as opposed to having captains pick a team. So we'll see how this all goes throughout the course of the season. But it's going to be fun nonetheless. And then on to Major League Baseball, where the playoffs are happening. Last night, the Texas Rangers prevail against the Houston Astros, and where the Texas Rangers actually now goes to the World Series. Game 7 tonight between the Arizona Diamondbacks and also the Philadelphia Phillies, man. Who you got in this Game 7 tonight, Danny?
If you remember last year, who did the Brewers lose to in the first round? Do you remember? Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves, yeah.
Who won
That's right.
Who won the championship?
The Braves.
Who did the Brewers lose to in the first round this year?
Arizona.
So I think all the pressure's on Philadelphia tonight. I was surprised they didn't close out last night, and Arizona's just scrappy, man. I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the upset with Arizona upsetting Philadelphia. They're playing with house money, and I think the pressure's on Philadelphia to close them out. Philadelphia should win. They're at home and everything, but I'm gonna go Arizona, make it interesting to watch tonight, and see if they can pull off this upset.
I think one of the best things the Arizona Diamondbacks can do is just walk Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Just walk him, man. I think he would do less damage being walked as opposed to him just hitting, man, because he has been on fire these playoffs. So I think that's the best thing they could do, man. We'll see what happens. But I'm going Phillies on this one.
Yeah,
I'm going Phillies on this one. But like you said, Arizona is scrappy, so we'll see what happens. I think it'll be a close one. It'll be a lot closer than last night's game.
And I was going to say, too, speaking of on fire, Garcia and walking somebody, I don't know what Houston was doing, but he made them pay last night.
Yeah.
So if it is Philadelphia and Texas, fireworks. So I can't wait. So if Arizona wins, great, but I prefer to see Philadelphia play Texas because just the offenses that would be involved.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.